The better we become at copywriting, the better we become at sales, and the more we sell. In today's video, I want to walk you through exactly what you need to consider and exactly what you need to do in order to drive real financial results in your real estate business and your service-based business. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I have the opportunity to work with agents, with real estate teams, with business owners all across North America, helping them experience passion and exuberant energy in both their personal and professional lives. Today, what I want to walk you through is a presentation I shared with some of my private clients a while back. And I shared with my private clients in this training about a story that I want to share with you today. I want to actually read it because I actually read it during this presentation that I did with them, and around how when we become better copywriters, when we become better storytellers, when we become better at sales, and we end up selling more of our services. And I've been brought back to this reminder of a story that I want to tell you today about when I wrote in my book, What If You Could? The Mindset and Business Blueprint for Your Life of Purpose. If you read my book, I wrote, ransacked our agency headquarters on both floors. Every piece of our prized video equipment was stolen. It was about $10,000 to $20,000 worth. Now that doesn't sound like much, but for a startup like us at the time, we weren't crushing it. And this was crushing. And I wrote in my book, you want to cry, but you just have to fight. The police came, looked at our surveillance footage, nothing but a hoodie, dusted for fingerprints, managed expectations. They were like, listen, we're busy. We might be able to hit up the pawn shops later, but if you guys really have the time, you best head over there right away with your serial numbers and cross your fingers they turn up, not at a town out of shop. Me and Neil, so that was my business partner at the time, the authors of this book thought, let's go, knowing it would be like winning the lottery. We hit up literally every single downtown pawn shop that was available. Every single pawn shop that was available, we hit every single one. Now, the crazy thing is at the last shop, literally at the moment we were giving our serial numbers to the clerk, a guy walks in and stands next to us. And what do you know? He's weighed down by a heavy knapsack, our camera lens popping out. We look at each other thinking, what are the odds? Signaling to the clerk, to the stall dude. We head outside and call the police officer, get over here. We're sharing the sidewalk with a thief spotter. After an eternity, which was actually less than 5 minutes, one cop pulls up, then another. Sirens are blaring like a Netflix thriller. Traffic backs up at the nearest location. And the crazy thing, I'm going to add to this, the crazy thing is this was actually only 2 blocks from our office location in Peterborough, Canada at the time. As the cops near the pawn shop, the thief makes a run for it. And as I'm standing there, this thief drops his bag and he just starts running. And the cops like, stop right there. And the thief runs, the spotter bolts in another direction, and the cop chases the bad guy in our gear while Neil chases the cop chasing the bad guy. Luckily, the cop caught the thief first. But we didn't write in this book, was he actually ran into an off-duty cop. So the cop that was running after him and the cop that was running towards him was off duty, and they took him down together. Like, what are the odds? So the long story short of this story is our kind of luck begins with action-oriented mindset that is all about going after life and business, not waiting for it to come to you. It's driven by starting, by trying, by being resilient and never giving up. The book that we wrote is a blueprint for building your life of purpose. In it are the principles, attitudes, and mindsets that we live by and have brought success and joy. We hope that we inspire you, make a difference. And we wrote about this in our book. And I share this with you today. And I share with you this story because whenever I take this piece of content and I post it, people are like, oh my God, did this just happen? And that's the power of good storytelling. I made a statement at the top of this video that the better we become at copy, the better we become at sales. And I really firmly believe that. The better we are at storytelling, the better we are at selling our products and our services. The greatest communicators taught us lessons through stories. Whether you're looking at Jesus, whether you're looking at Walt Disney, whether you're looking at Shakespeare, the best storytellers the best communicators told their communication or communicated with us via story. And I urge you to do the same thing. Copy that converts. So So I want to share with you a framework today to think about how you can actually create an ad or how you can create an email that actually tells a story. So this framework is called Story Lesson Offer. Story Lesson Offer. When you're creating an ad, when you're creating an email, what I want you to encourage you to do is like get a pen and paper and write down some significant events that have happened in your life. And as you're writing down these things, I want you to kind of figure out, okay, what was the lesson that I learned through the story? Recently, I wrote an email, and the email was about me sitting in Starbucks for an entire day. And I was there the entire day, and at no point in time did I actually see a manager come out of the back room and actually serve coffee. And I told this story in order to present the lesson that we see this on a day-to-day basis, and we often make the mistake as entrepreneurs, as business owners, that we need to work in the business versus on the business. And the lesson is like, just because you are a manager, just because you're the owner, that doesn't mean that you need to call your own leads. That doesn't mean that you need to pour your own coffee. The lesson is be a business owner that works on the business versus works in the business. And that was the lesson I shared. And then I presented my offer at the end of the email. And my offer was like, if you feel like you're constantly working in the business and you're doing all the things, my encouragement to you would be take a look at how you actually hire your own barista. Hire your own virtual assistant. Hire somebody to do the task, the day-to-day tasks that are not necessarily needle moving in the business, that don't actually drive necessarily income, so that you can be the operator of the business versus working in the business. And I made the offer to reach out and have a conversation with us about our ISA services. That's how you use a story lesson offer, and it's super easy. All you got to do is write down the stories or write down the thoughts that you have day in and day out. Write them down, put them in I literally put mine in my phone on a daily basis, throw it in my phone, and I have the opportunity, and I'm afforded the opportunity to make sure that I can tell a story and then present the lesson to that story and present an offer. It's a way more effective way in order to sell more things. And at the end of the email, it's really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, whenever you're ready, if you want more information about how we help take this thing off your plate or how we help you do X, Y, and Z thing, just DM me or reply to this email with the word barista, because I'm tying it back into the story, and I'll reach out with next steps. That's how you write copy that converts. So how do you unpack a story? It's a big thing. Like I gave you you want to get the context for the story. Like when we're talking about lesson, like what was the context for that story? So I gave you the example of the barista that was working in Starbucks day in and day out, and the owner wasn't actually pouring the coffee. So the context for that is going to be the context of Starbucks. The conflict or the insight that I am given is like, even like I'm a manager, or I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, it doesn't mean I have to pour the coffee. The solution is hiring the thing, or hiring the virtual assistant, or working on the business versus in the business. And the offer is, or the closure, and how you unpack the story during the lesson is at the end, the story lesson offer is you say, hey, if you ever want more information about X, Y, and Z thing, just DM me the word like barista, or email me back the word barista, and I'll reach out with next steps. That's how you tell an effective story. So the cool thing about storytelling, when you sit down and you actually write this out, whether it be on a Google Doc, whether it's be on your voice note, in your actual notes on your phone, is these stories can be told via email. These stories can be told via long form video like I'm creating right now. And these stories that you create can be told via short form video. So I can make a short form variation of this, I can make a long form variation of this, and I can actually email this, and I can make the decision, do I want to write this out, or do I want to just send them the video that I'm creating right now? You can do both. So in one story, you have 4 mediums that you can deliver your message in a way that actually gets them in a compelling way to raise their hand. Because ultimately, we know that all conversion happens in great conversation. But in order to do that, in order to have that conversation, that inbound conversation, we need to get more people to raise their hand. And this is how we get them to raise their hand. So 3 books I want to close out with you today. And I want to share with you today 3 books that I think that everyone should read if they make the decision that they want to be a great copywriter. The first book is The Boron Letters by Gary Halbert. It is a book that Gary wrote to his son while he was in jail. He's one of the most genius advertisers, one of the most genius copywriters in like really our time. And he shares with you in this book the lessons he's learned around copy, because he's actually writing these lessons to his son in jail to teach him how to become a better copywriter, how to make more money. Because the better you become at copy, the better you become at sales, and the better you become at sales, the more money you make, the more impact you have, and the more financial freedom you experience. The second book I would recommend you read is Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. Phenomenal book. And the last book that you have to read if you want to get really great at understanding the mind of the consumer. This is more of a human psychology book, I would say. It's a human psychology marketing book. It's called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. And it walks you through understanding on a deeper level, are people problem aware? Are they solution aware? Are your leads in your database that you're currently actively talking to, or your referrals, are they product aware? And he walks you through how to understand and how to speak to those people depending on where they are at in their buying journey. I would highly recommend you check out those 3 books. So like I said, the whole purpose of this is like my long form video scripts that I create. There was a story I told about, buying an Apple MacBook. That Apple MacBook could be email, it could be long form video, it could be short form video. I had a story that I wrote, and I created a bunch of videos around how like I bought an Apple Mac and they were constantly advertising to me, but because the salesperson couldn't identify the pain that I was currently facing, or because I didn't actually know that there was so much pain until I actually bought the new MacBook, I told a story about that, about like the buying process. If you have a bunch of people that are like in the nurture phase, which is the majority of leads that are probably in your database, you need to find different ways to tell stories so that you can ultimately get them to transact with you and make the decision that you're the person that they're going to want to work with. I hope you got a ton of value out of today's video. If you want more videos like this, all I ask is that you like and subscribe and comment on the channel, because that will help me know that this video around copywriting, around marketing, around sales, around how to communicate better on social media and on email is helping provide value back to your business. So whether you're a service-based business, whether you're a real estate agent, wherever you're at, take this strategy, run with it, implement it in your business, and watch amazing things happen. I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode. I want to say thank you for tuning into the channel. We'll see you in the next one.